Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi. For today's video, we're going to talk about purification. Purification is a process that is necessary in order to complete our religious practices, which is prayer, holding the Quran, going to Hajj, because it focuses more on purifying your body so that no impurity is around you. And it is the first thing you have to learn before even doing wudu. Because let's say you have impurity and you say, I'm going to take a shower, the impurity will be removed. Yes, physically it will be removed, but in the eyes of Allah it's not going to be removed, because there is a process that was handed down to Muhammad ﷺ and for all the Muslims to follow in order for ourselves to be considered as pure. And in order to be pure, you first need pure water and to know how to practice it. So when it comes to pure water, there are 3 characteristics we have to check. If those are fulfilled, then that water can be used to do the greater ablution, the small ablution, and so on. So one of them is that the water should not have a different appearance. So if you look at the water and see some sort of color or some sort of grease looking thing, like for example if oil was spilled in the water, that grease image, if you see that, or some sort of color in the water, then that water should not be used for purification, for wudu, the greater ablution, and so on. So that is the color of the water. The second part is the smell of the water. So if you sniff the water, if it has a smell that is like a smell of gas, like for example, sometimes underground water can be mixed with petroleum, but that's a rare thing to see, and sometimes you might have that smell. But also if something else like other than water is mixed to it, for example water that came from the rain and then some animal put impurities in it, and then you have that smell in that water. And if it goes to the river and you mistakenly grab that water mixed with all of that, one thing is that the appearance will be different, but also the smell will be different. So that is one thing to check in the water. The water should not have a different smell than actual water. The third part is that the water should not have a taste. So if you were doing wudu and you reach your mouth, you would know the taste of that water. Now, if it's water that is in the bottle, sometimes the taste might be weird, but this taste is different from something that is not natural. So, for example, if there are some chemicals added to the water that causes an unusual taste, and if you were to consume water from the rain, that also would have some taste because of the dust. But the difference here is that water that is found in this natural state, for example water from the sea, water from the river, from rain, and so on, from the well, those can be used and they are pure. It's different from if something was added to that water, for example water where you add some chemicals to make it taste better or to remove certain bacteria, or somehow if that water is consumed and the taste is different, that water cannot be used. So to recapitulate, there are 3 characteristics we have to check in water so that it can be pure. One is the color. It should not have a color. The other, it should not have a smell. And the other one, it should not have a taste. The exception is that if water is found in its natural state, like water from the river, from the sea. It tastes like salt water from uh, a river where some algae was growing on it. That water will be kind of green, but that can be used for purification because it's its natural state. So any water found in its natural state can be used for wudu, but water in which it was in its natural state and something was added to it that changes its smell, appearance, or taste, that water cannot be used. So these are the important things to check in water before you'll use that for your ablutions, your greater ablutions. In the next video, inshallah, we'll be talking about the greater ablution. Wa alaikum assalam.